Hi, this is Amanda Marino from amandaempowers coaching. I'm so excited to be here today. Just wanted to take a minute to talk about, when you're searching for help for a loved one. So I've made a couple of videos that were directed to professionals and saying, to break the stigma and you're not alone and professionals need help too, and talked about binge drinking versus alcoholism. So those are all great topics. Now, I've had a few people inbox me and reach out about needing help for a loved one. And when you're looking for help for a loved one, it is really, really hard. It's hard to know what to do, especially if you don't work in the behavioral health space. I've worked in the behavioral health space for 10 years now. And for me, it's second nature. So I know where to turn to direct people where to get help. But I have to realize that there are so many people in the world that don't know where to turn. And when your loved one is suffering, it is terrible to feel like you're all alone and not know where to turn. And then there's also really bad people out there. There are in every line of work, but you really have to be careful in the substance space and the behavioral health space. So I wanted to talk about a few things. So there was five topics I wanted to touch on. How you find help for a loved one. So the first one being, you can always find a therapist. So you can, whether you have health insurance, you can see, if there is a provider that is in network with your insurance, or you can also look and see, find a specialist. If you know someone in the behavioral health space, I'd be happy to recommend any therapist in your area to you. If I don't know your area, I will reach out to one of my colleagues or contacts in that area and find you the kind of clinician you're looking for. Someone who's reputable, somebody who really has a good reputation, and is a specialty for what you need. Because usually there's other things going on besides addiction. So there's other things that go along with mental health. And then there's, people have depression. Maybe your child or spouse is suffering with depression. You need to know where to turn, or bipolar, mood disorders, or, maybe hearing things. So there's so many different things that you might need help. But therapy is always a great place to start. Therapists have to go to school for a very long time to get their credential. So they're almost like a doctor in their area, in their specialty. So anyone who's a licensed clinician has been, through a whole lot of work to get to their seat. So another option, number two, would be coaching. That's something that I do. And I know some really, really good coaches, some that have mentored me, and just different coaches I've met along the way. And the cool thing about therapy and coaching is they go hand in hand really well. So you can have a therapist that works with you on that, the underlying issues, the trauma, whatever, it is that's going on, whatever their specialty is and what your need is. And then you can have a coach to handhold you through walk you through daily life, to help you set goals, help you to, remove blocks, to help hold you accountable. There's a number of things that we can do with coaching. So coaching is always a great resource for people that are struggling. Another one is asking a professional. So one of us. So if you don't, if you know a coach or if you know a therapist and you have someone that's suffering on a deeper level, like they need to go and get some help. They need to go away and they need to get somewhere and maybe get medication. They maybe need to do some serious therapy, serious clinical work. That's where you ask your coach, you ask your therapist, you ask a trusted professional, because like I said, there's the good guys and the bad guys all over in the world. But when it comes to you getting help for you and your loved one, you want to know that you're asking somebody that you can trust. So I'm always, able to guide you in the right direction. There are a few levels of care if you do want to send somebody to get help that they need. If your child is suffering, or like I said, your spouse or a friend, just somebody along your path, because it seems like we all know somebody who's struggling, right? I mean, if you don't, then maybe they're just really keeping it quiet. But I mean, I've had so many people that have crossed my path that have needed help with, whether it be drugs, alcohol, mental health disorders, eating disorders, shopping, sex addiction, you name it. I mean, there's so many people that need so many, resources out there. And I'm so grateful that I have the resources I have today. Another option is residential treatment. Now, there's so many options out there in the country, and it's so scary to try to navigate it. Like, okay, my son is using heroin, which is a huge epidemic right now. he needs to go to rehab. Okay, where do I send my kid? Do I look on the internet? Because I know I can't believe it's on the internet. Who do I ask? What do I do? So that's another thing. You have to have somebody you trust. You have to have somebody that you know is going to not just send you to where they're getting paid or where they work, but they're going to send your loved one to the best possible clinical program for them. So that's what it's about. It's not about, you know, just sending you to wherever or you picking wherever you know, find best on the internet. You need to make sure this is the appropriate place. Like if your child has trauma or your mom or your sister, you know, has certain issues, they have more complex medical issues or whatever is the case, you need to make sure that this is the right facility for you. So this is just a few tips on when you're looking for help for a loved one. Please, you know, I've been really blown away by all the people that have been messaging me, and I love it. I love when you tell me your stories. I love when you tell me your struggles. I love when you tell me that you were scared to reach out. I love that you were holding it in and now you realize from watching my video that you need to get some help or you need to, you know, do something for yourself. But, you know, I really wanted to reach out to those who maybe it's not them in particular, but it's their loved ones. Please, I love the messages. You're not bothering me. Message me. I'm happy to help. Have a great Monday. Bye.